So man, it's your big brother K-Rino. Check this out, man. This message is for the young, the old, and everybody in between. Um, a lot of times in life, you hear people say, well, man, this child wasn't planned, or my son or my daughter, they were not planned. We didn't expect them to come along, or they'll use the excuse me, they'll use the A word. They'll say, well, he was an accident, or she was an accident. And I always felt like that was probably one of the worst things you could say to a child. Even if you thought it in your mind, you shouldn't say it. You should never make a child that you have feel like they are unwanted. And the word accident should be changed to unplanned or unintentional. But even with those words being substituted, uh, I still don't feel like that's something you should say to the child, especially at an early age. And even when they get old enough to kind of understand the circumstances by which they might have came into existence, it's still something that you got to be careful with how you word that, because some people are grown adults that have never gotten over the fact that they may feel in their mind that they were not wanted, or that they felt like they were accidents. Because when you have that thought about yourself, the first thing that it does, it makes the person take value away from themselves, and that's the last thing you want to do. It creates self-esteem issues, especially if the parents are piling it on or stacking it on, or you may be going through they may be going through hard times as the child is growing up, and they may actually have moments where they blame the child because of their financial problems. Well, if you wouldn't here, then I wouldn't be in this situation, and things like that. And that's not something you should do, to put that emphasis on a person who, as my song say, didn't ask to be here. So we got to be very careful with our use of words, because while we think in our minds and our foolishness, we will say that um, the child was an accident and all that, but it wasn't an accident in God's mind, because God is the creator of life, not us. We are just the vessels that He uses to bring that into existence. But in reality, He is the one who formulates that, and He is the one who knew that you were developing in the womb long before even the mother knew. And He shapes you in the womb. He creates your brain. He brings all that into existence. So, and He also uh, has the full understanding of what our value is and what our purpose is, and our purpose can potentially be. We're just the ones who don't see that far down the line. And there have been a lot of situations where we may give up children for adoption. We may abort children because of that same accident mentality, and we never know what it is we got rid of. You just don't know. It could have been the answer to everything you ever wanted. It could have been the next um, LeBron, or the next great person to come down the pike, the next scientist, the next world-changing uh, doctor, or something along those lines, the next person that would free our people that we've been waiting on all these years. And if we don't put that value on that, then we would never know. We would never know. So don't use that word. Don't use that word accident. And even if you know, you grown person, even if you know, well, hey, I wasn't intended by my parents, but I was absolutely intended by the Creator because I'm here. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be here, you know. And don't allow yourself to develop self esteem issues simply because you come into the realization that I was not mathematically and scientifically crafted by my parents, you know, on purpose. The science and math took place on its own. Nature took place on its own, but they didn't lay it out. But don't let yourself get down by that because you're here, and now that you are here, you have an opportunity to not only be great in this life, but you have the opportunity to repeat the process in terms of bringing children into the world um, and making them great, you know, and praying that they'll become great. And if you repeat the cycle that your parents repeated by having an unplanned uh, birth situation, follow those rules. Don't be one who makes the child feel like he or she is to blame for something that they had no control over, and that's their own existence. Everybody got value, man. It's your big brother K-Rino. Ain't no such thing as an accident.